Hi, I'm Norman Liss, and the name of the program is The Way to Go. I invite you to join me each week at this time as we explore places to go and things to do. Today we're talking about a wonderful show at the Westchester Broadway Theater called Evita. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, that's because Evita is a smash hit. It's been a smash hit. I have now seen it 4 times, and I think that the production at the Westchester Broadway Theater is the best yet, and you'll hear why in a few minutes. My guests today are Evita herself, Eva Perón herself, and in real life, Alice Vienneau. And along with Alice Vienneau, we have the director, George Puello. Why do I do that with you, George, all the time?
Because it sounds Italian and it's Spanish.
Well, as I've already said, the show is magnificent, and it seems to me that you've done something with it that has never been done before. It has a different life and a different vitality. There are a lot of surprises in it. How does one approach, George? How does one approach a show that is new and yet is not new? What do you bring to it? How do you bring those concepts?
Well, I think the main thing in my approach to it, because I had done a production of it previous to this, totally different set of circumstances, and I had a very large cast, so that made that interesting. What I really wanted to do was to approach it from the point of view of an opera, which the term that they use in opera is a sweep, the sweep of a production, how it flows from one scene to another, and that's why I also opted to design it so that the set was subservient to the action. And one of the things that I wanted to do was bring in some of the elements from the, and I don't want to say London production because it really wasn't the London production, it was the original recording that was done prior to it being produced. And I wanted to bring some of those elements in, which I thought helped tell the story a little bit better.
But it's not an opera.
No, not, well, I guess it's an opera in the sense that it's all music.
Mm-hmm. There's no spoken parts.
Right, but I wanted to use the operatic style staging, which I think is very conducive to it. And I guess that's really my approach. Also, I wanted it to have a certain feel and a certain look to it, and so the production staff that was put together, I think, achieved that to a great degree.
And in today's theater, the visual approach is so important, isn't it? And of course, this is such a visual show.
Yes. One of the things that I tried to use was to use the slides and in a different way than they were used in the Broadway production anyway, to also help the story along by putting dates and location so that the audience is a little more attuned to what.
Yeah, in the past, there were certain things in Evita which were not clear to me, but you've even added in this additional number, which was not in the Broadway production, which explains a lot of it and fits right in with it.
Right. Very lucky I had a great musical director who was willing to, to do this, and we used the music from the original recording to achieve this. And I guess the only other thing I can say about the production is that no matter how much you as a director bring to it, the fact still remains that 99.9% is in the casting.
And in casting, Alice as Eva Perón, you've made a wonderful choice. I made the comment that you were so many different people as I watched the show, because you start out as a young girl and become dramatic, and of course you look so different here, and as this the photo that we're looking at right now on the screen, very dramatic with your hair drawn back. Do you change a lot internally when you're performing?
Oh, absolutely. One of the wonderful things about live theater is, and a play like this where it's a flashback and we get to watch the story unfold before us, is that it's in order, and I get to experience her life from the beginning to the end, so to speak. So
It's a difficult singing role, isn't it?
oh yeah, very difficult.
Was it you who said that it's the most difficult singing role that's ever been created for the musical theater?
You can quote me on that. Yeah, I think it probably is.
Why?
Because I think that the way that it's written is very much on the edge of a female's break, what they call, or her passaggio, or it's very high belting, basically. Mm-hmm. And unless it's performed that way, it sort of loses something in the translation. So there are ways to do it where it's safer and easier on your vocal cords, but I think the intensity of the character requires that you sing it on the edge that it was written.
And so there are these belting portions, but then there are some very low portions where completely different character. Mm-hmm. And you change. You not only change in your singing throughout the performance, but your body language changes. You become a different person. I mean, it's not just the wigs that make you look differently.
Right.
You feel that a different person at a different time as you go through all of that?
Oh, yeah. The wigs and the costumes certainly help, but we're moving along in the story, and each time I come on stage, I'm a little bit older and a little bit more experienced, and stuff has gone on that the audience hasn't seen, and
you have to convey that.
I am a different person. You know, go from 15 to 32. Mm-hmm. A lot happens in a woman's life.
How does that? The theater has these tremendous hydraulics that you're able to use. And why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Well, one of the things that we wanted to do when we moved to the new space, as you know, we've been there now, I guess this is our third year. One of the reasons why we moved to the new space is that we wanted to be able to have as close to a state-of-the-art facility as we could. We had limitations in the old space, and one of the things that we incorporated were tracks built into the stage, as well as this hydraulic system, which we added for Phantom. Prior to that, we didn't have it. That and the fact that we have just a wonderful technical director, Peter Barbieri, who, you just give him a challenge and he'll come up with 3 different ways to do it and gives you choices. And one of the things that I think the show needs anything, as you said, visual that you can throw at it. And the revolve, the hydraulics, the tracks, all of those things help. Again, using the word, the sweep of the production, the way it moves, the way it flows. The fact that the mistress ends her song in asking the question, where am I going to? And she just leaves without physically getting up. I think that adds a moment.
There are so many things that are happening. For someone who has seen it before, it's exciting because it's different. For someone who has never seen Evita, it's an experience that I don't know of anything else in the theater that really, I don't think I've seen anything this many times, so I think that says a lot about it. But it's a new experience to really see what goes on and the dramatic portions of it. The crowd scenes are just tremendous. But we haven't talked about the fact that there was a narrator that's going on in this Che, right, who really tells the story and sings it, and he takes on many roles, too, during the show. It's a very important part of the show.
In fact, one of the things that I tried to do is some of the things that he does in the show are really allocated to other characters, and I just thought that it just complicated the issue to bring in these minor characters that really you only see them that one time, and so some of the things that are normally done by other minor characters I just literally give to him to do.
There are a lot of surprises in it, not only for someone who has seen Evita before, but just surprises to the audience, things that happen that are unexpected, and I don't want to give them away, so we won't talk about them specifically, but just be prepared to be surprised is what I usually tell people.
And even if they've seen the show before, there are a couple of little twists that we've put into the production that I think make it just a little more interesting, a little. One of the things that I liked about working with this particular cast is that some of them had done the production before, and they brought some new elements that perhaps I hadn't thought of, and it was interesting putting it together. Very interesting.
Have you ever done this role before?
Yes, I have.
And these new elements that George is talking about, how does that affect you? Do you have to relearn the part, so to speak?
Oh, absolutely. I haven't done it for 10 years. I did it as a 23-year-old. Okay, and it wasn't 10 full years. And so I didn't really remember the show anyway. The music is still, whirls around in your head. But yes, I had to totally relearn the part, and I really tried to go in with a clean slate. However, as rehearsal started to unfold, yeah, sure, there was absolutely moments where things came back to me that had worked before. Trains of thought that were coming back to me that I was able to ask George about and actually incorporate. But working with a whole entire new cast, working with a new director, I really wanted to do a different show, a new production, and working off new people. This Che has brought so many interesting things to the piece that I'm constantly challenged, and we come up with new things every night.
Really? It is different. It is different every performance.
No question. Oh yeah.
What makes it different?
Oh, it's live, and I'm not a person that sets anything. Really, I like to. My intentions are there, and my basic objectives for the scene, and I try not to bump into anybody or furniture. But truthfully, it's so much fresher. It's so much more exciting if you leave yourself open to acting and reacting and listening and discovering things every day.
How does the director feel about the fact that it's always different?
Actually, there are a lot of positive things about that because it is live theater, and it's the type of show that can become a cult situation where people see it more than once. In fact, I know several individuals who've already come back to see it again, and that's one of the things they comment is that
you've seen this production.
Yeah, this particular production.
So that's an interesting point.
And they like that little freshness, and I don't think it's like. It's not like a major thing, like coming out with your wig upside down or something. But it's just these little subtle things, and I've noticed them. And I guess Alice would tell you if they bothered me, I would have said something to them. So I think they work for the piece, and they're not so jarring that it distracts from the production or from the other performers.
The character is set. In the opening when you're a young girl, and why don't you set the scene, and then we'll look at a copy of that when the singer is out there performing.
Yeah. The opening scene after the funeral, the first scene of the sort of retrospective. I'm 15, and I'm at a nightclub in Junín, which is sort of the boondocks. Watching Agustín Magaldi, who was a sort of a famous nightclub singer to those of us in the boondocks. And I had spent the night with him the night before. And my goal is for him to take me with him when he goes to the big city. And this is going to be my big break. I'm going to get out of this town.
Such a it establishes the characters, I think, right there. It's such a powerful, and of course he comes back later on and kind of relates to the past a little bit, and I thought that was very interestingly done.
Right.
You have some very big numbers in it, right? Certainly, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, which everybody knows. Do those numbers take on a special feeling for you when you're doing them? And of course, the opening of the second act, and with the dramatic look that we've just seen here. Does that give you a special feeling when you're doing, because you know that they're the big numbers?
Well, I suppose, sort of ego-wise, yeah. But just really quick, my feeling about that opening of the second act is works for me so well as an actor, because I sort of get an idea of what she might have been experiencing on a certain level. You stand up there on a platform in a beautiful dress and gorgeous jewelry, and the people around you. The man who plays my husband, Mark Peters as Juan Perón, he cares for me in life, and so I know that that as an actor, when I get up there, he's rooting for me. I look down on the people who are playing the crowd, and as actors, they're rooting for me. So not only are they loving Evita, they're loving Alice too. So when I get up there and look down on them, I really am overwhelmed. I really am touched. I really am, I feel so special to be addressing them. So
it does come across beautifully, especially when
puts those things together.
Although that, without giving anything away, that break when you turn away from the audience makes me think, well, she's phony, because she comes back and turns around and seems to prove that. That's what you conveyed to me in that, and I suppose that's what you were working towards. Am I interpreting this right?
Whatever you get is what you get.
That's it.
If that's what you get, then that's what we want.
But you know what? In that scene also, and I mean, I've seen many productions of this before, and I've seen this particular production. I think I've only missed maybe 2 of the performances thus far. And that moment is so exciting, because not only do you have all of that energy going on between the balcony and the people, but you also have the sound effects of this huge mass crowd and the live applause of the audience. And I'm telling you, the hairs on the back of the head stand up every single night. It's goosebumps for sure, because it's a built-in moment.
But it's a show of contrasts, isn't it? There's some. Just take, for example, the soldiers and the British. Set the scene, George.
Well, the aristocrats. First of all, I guess as a historical background, Argentina is probably more European than a lot of the European cities. And at that time, there was a great deal of influence from the English in particular, which, as we know later on, it led to the Falklands War, etc. And there are a lot of, as in the Falklands, there British citizens there who consider themselves English and not, they're not Argentinian. So there is that contrast of the aristocrats whom Ava, and I'll let Alice talk about that, who Ava really resented for many reasons. She was an illegitimate child. And getting back to that scene of Magaldi, this wasn't just something particular to Ava Duarte. It was particular to any young girl in that same situation. Their whole thing was, how do I get out of here? Her mother, Ava's mother, did it by marrying a landlord, someone who had property, and that, which was perfectly accepted, that you have your family, and then that you also had a mistress somewhere.
But in this particular scene, when I'm talking about contrast, is the fact that this very sophisticated, aloof British group, and in come these soldiers to this military type of a march, and the contrast of the color and their positioning and the sound. Right. I mean, it's...
And yet both of them are against her.
Against her. Yeah.
So that it's very well put together by the authors.
Almost
Tim Rice
reminded
and
me
Andrew Lloyd
of
Webber.
the racetrack scene from My Fair Lady with the aloof people looking off there, and of course. But there's so many different elements in this show that makes it work. So there are only basically 5 principals, and the rest is all ensemble, isn't it? Which is very interesting to me. I didn't realize that until I looked in the playbill and saw that in the cast listing. And those 5 major roles just dominated. Well, of course, 2 of them dominated more than anybody else. How does it feel when you come out there and I'm sure night after night get this tremendous applause when you come out in that closing? What does it do to you as an actor?
I have a problem that I can't hear the applause all that well. I sort of have to ask afterwards my dresser or Tom, how did I do? Were they excited for me? Because for some reason, maybe it's the way the set is designed, as I'm coming out, I can't hear. I don't know. I can hear the people before me. It's a thrill. I mean, it's a thrill to be able to have, communicated what I communicated and then come out and know that it's appreciated. It's definitely a thrill. And to finally break character and actually face my audience as a person.
Yes. And you surprised me a little bit at the end on the curtain calls, and I'm not going to tell what it is because I want everybody to be surprised. But you did something very cute at the end, and I thought that, talk about breaking character, and I thought that was just great. So, but if we talked about surprises, people have a lot of surprises to look forward to. The shows at the Westchester Broadway Theater are all individually produced, and they're cast in New York, and this has been really it is the longest running theater in New York State, isn't it?
Right, full-time professional theater, including Broadway, because the Broadway shows run only 15 years. I think the longest one is 15 or 16, which was Chorus Line.
The quality of the performance, the quality of the performers, the staging, the music. Of course, a lot has been accomplished with the new theater and what has been done. It's still intimate. Nobody's far from the stage, which makes it's 20th year coming up, isn't it?
Yes, this is our 20th anniversary. We're getting ready to celebrate with a big production of Sayonara.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Evita is like the first of the 20-year celebration, and we're very excited about it and very grateful that the audiences have supported us for these many years.
And I always like to get inside the actor's mind when you're off stage. Are you still Eva Peron?
I'm not. I know that a lot of actors, that's part of their technique and it's part of what gives them their through line for their play.
Not that you're off stage that much.
I'm not off stage that much, and when I am tearing myself up or being torn up by my dresser. But no, I'm one of those people that when I come off stage, I'm Alice again, and I'm joking around with everybody, and I do the twist and stand on chairs and dance with my dresser, and I have such a good time that to me it's a play, and so that's what I like to do.
You're getting paid to play. Huh?
It's a beautiful. Oh, it's hard work too, but it's. I don't bring it off stage with me. I like to come off stage and be me, and then when I'm on stage, I'm really focused.
And since it's such a difficult role, do you have to do things with your voice a lot, vocalize and other things? Or,
oh yeah, and rest a lot. Yeah, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to sing this show in the wintertime, because the weather has wreaked havoc on all of us, not just the Avas, but everybody's had trouble. So you got to rest a lot, you got to drink a lot of water, you got to, vocalize, your technique has to be really, your chops.
And none of it can show, right?
Right. Right.
George, we want to make sure that if anybody wants information about Evita or anything else at the Westchester Broadway Theater, that they have a number they can call. Could you tell us what number it is
yes,
to call for
our
information?
box office line is 914-592-2222. An easy number to remember.
A lot of twos in there. 914-592-2222. And as usual, we'll put that up in the closing credits. What about your future, George? You are directing scenic work?
Well, I've been very fortunate in that with my position at the theater, I've gotten to do what I would imagine most people in my position would love to do, and that is to be able to direct, and as in my case, I also design. I don't choreograph that much anymore. We had a wonderful choreographer for this production.
And it is a dancing show. And
yes, Ken Malone. And but I get to do a little of everything that I enjoy doing, and now I'm more focusing on the composing end of my talent. So that's really what I'm focusing on more than anything else.
You're more than a triple shot man. You're a triple threat man.
Well, you know what? I think Alice would agree here. I learned very young, and I was very fortunate when I got into the business almost 30 years ago, that if to really stay working, that was the best thing to do, was to branch out and get involved in other aspects because I started out as a performer. Mm-hmm. So, and I was able to make the transition into directing and choreographing and designing easily because I put myself in that frame of mind. And I think the person who's more than let's say just a singer or an actor or a dancer stands the chance of having a more fruitful career.
Because it is a tough business, I suppose, when you come down. But you have worked pretty steadily, and of course that's
knock on wood.
Really, and also is an indication of your talent, and people do recognize what you're capable of doing, and of course that's very, very important. Well, what we want people to do is to come and enjoy the fruit of your talent at the theater, and I thank you both for coming. My guests today have been George Puello and Alice, I'll do this right, Vienneau. Alice is playing Eva Perón at Evita at the Westchester Broadway Theater. George is the director. I think you'll enjoy it. I'm Norman Liss. The name of the program is The Way to Go. Until next week at this time, enjoy yourself.